Hello everybody, Realm Builder Guy here, and welcome back to the channel. And well, who knows what's going to happen here moving forward. To say that Queen Sarah of Aragon is potentially looking at the end of her reign as queen is, well, that's not an exaggeration. She is caught in two wars where she is extraordinarily outgunned, to be perfectly honest. I mean, dealing with France at 14,000, they have nearly twice as many troops. And then dealing with the Aragonese war, it's relatively equal. The problem is, of course, being that she's likely to lose here, which is the war goal here is for Berry. So regaining the Duchy of Berry, bringing it back into the fold of France. Now, not the dissolution of the kingdom itself. That, on the other hand, is down here. A dissolution war to end all of this. And there are no allies here currently. Now, the direction she goes will be interesting, especially because our options are incredibly limited, given that we are in the midst of a regency. If we look at Queen Sarah herself, she is curious, cynical, and arrogant. So her cynical arrogance will determine the fact that she's going to continue on and try to maintain what her father left her. If we look at what we can do, we can arrange marriage for two people at court, we can destroy an artifact, and we can remove a guardian. And that's really it. We go to the regent, Queen Mother Eleonora, who is brave, zealous, content, and trusting, as well as a lot of this military stuff. She's a fearless zealot. Well, here there's also not much we can really do here at the moment. So we are a little bit stuck. There's no point in abdicating the throne and potentially saving the Kingdom of Aragon. The other option, of course, is switching characters and moving to be the more powerful Plantagenet, which is Henri's younger brother, Duke Richard, who himself has two children. The realm that he currently holds is, of course, Poitiers, the Bretagne, or Brittany, and the Champagne, as well as he is the heir apparent to Auvergne. So he will become very, very, very powerful. So our best bet, honestly, is to not fight the French and instead move our forces to the south and take on the Aragonese uprising there and hope for the best, because this land, it's lost. I mean, Berry is... There's just no chance that I can see for Sarah to survive this. Now, what we can do, of course, is call in Richard for the dissolution war and help out down there in what we could or couldn't do, because at the end of the day, she has limited amounts of allies. She has Prince Kazimierz of Poland, but it's not Poland proper anymore. And really the only help she has is from her uncle, Richard, who I believe is probably the catalyst for a lot of the upheavals and problems that both her and her father have been dealing with. We also need a new marshal. So here, Ascaletin, he is very, very good. He's a traveler, a pilgrim, unyielding defender, brilliant strategist. So we're going to assign him to do that. We do need to increase county control in a number of areas, starting all the way down here in Castellon. So court grandeur has increased. If we now look at where things sit here, in this war, really nothing has changed. He's got twice the power, the King of France. If we look down here, however, we are slightly more powerful than the attacker. So there's a chance that she could lose Berry and then keep Aragon and destroy all of these. And you know, honestly, that is a push coming from both, we're just going to say, her uncle as well as the Queen Regent, her mother. So it's a tough decision, but what we can most likely do here is surrender. There is no chance because of the overwhelming odds. Her army will be destroyed, and on top of that, it'll be so weakened that she would lose Aragon. Strategically, it would be a bad decision. Let's also quickly look at mercenaries, what we have here. Already have them hired. We can drop a bit more money. Yeah, everyone's already been hired here. I don't really want to spend that much money whilst the coffers are going. So the question is, of course, what are the options here? We can't maintain the kingdom whilst being, you know, part of France. That was also one council, let's say, council offer or idea. So let's see what we can do here. Is to basically become a vassal yet again of France, and that might happen eventually, but we're just going to have to surrender this. So in losing that war, we, you know, have lost a big chunk of the country. Now here, Chartres, they are also part of this dissolution war. So what we can do here is send our troops straight up north to Chartres. First, take care of all of the French rebels, so to speak. And our armies are definitely strong enough to do that before we would necessarily have to move to the south to take care of the Iberian lands. First things first, we need to gain control of our own lands. Here we can see the uncle's forces are destroying that army very well, in fact, and now we can continue on with our siege here. We're going to lose Evreux, but you know, that's not a huge concern right now. First things first, we must destroy the French that are fighting against us, and then we can turn down to Iberia, take care of that, and then it may be a killing spree of disloyal nobles. So we've got just under 2 months left here, and at that point, when we win this siege, we are going to head south, and we're going to take them on. Agriculture has discovered banking. Interesting. So they are besieging our capital, and once we win this siege, excellent. We will now move our troops to the south. Ideally, our uncle comes with us, and now we will take them on. I mean, this is going to be a tight one for sure, but all of our allies coming with us could be beneficial. So they are bugging out. They have left. Let's just keep an eye on this. We'll move around this way and hopefully engage them. I want to destroy these rebel forces as quickly as possible. Let's see, if Richard gets over fast enough to help in this fight, we have a chance. It's really, really tight. Really tight. Ugh, the beating. You stupid little witch. Why must you always be in my way? I'm going to teach you a lesson. Matilda claims, reaching out for a nearby cudgel. What have I done wrong? I only wanted to see what Matilda was doing. She's approaching rapidly, raising the club in the air. Help! If you tell anyone who did this to you, I will make sure you perish, she gains. How could people be so cruel? What if there are more like her? I must always be on my guard. Please don't hurt me, I'll do anything. Now, always be on my guard. Now, paranoid, will his troops... Yes! Richard's troops get there just in time. Due to your minority, a condition which worries the church greatly, I've granted Prince Arnaud of Vermandois a claim on the Duchy of Normandy. I mean, this is not turning out well, but this battle definitely is. So that is a big victory. We need a new head, commander, so that'll be our marshal. So now, strategically, what we could do is head north and take on Eu, or regain that. We're going to first head over here to Évreux, regain that. Again, we're just dealing with this before we have to deal with the potential Iberian rebels. A small skirmish here on the way to Évreux, which we have won quite easily. Let's see, they've got 7 months left in that siege. Claim on Vendôme. For months, Baudouin, Count Vicence, suffragan bishop, has been digging up spurious contracts and fabricated histories. Now, Count Vicence dares act as if it all amounts to a legitimate claim on the county of Vendôme. Yeah, it's not looking good. So we're actually going to break this siege off. We're going to join our uncle's host in this battle here. Can we get there in time? I mean, we do, but by that time, that's already done. And now we can send our armies back here to gain this land back, and then move up to the earldom of Eu, and take that one. Liberty demand. It's time to recognize the ancient and inalienable rights of our vassals, accept our demands for liberty faction, or face our swords in battlefield. I will not be threatened. Guess I have no choice. You get the limited crown authority. So we look here, we've got high, we've got pass. Limited crown authority. So basically, I mean, it hurts, but I guess I have no choice. We really have no choice. We cannot afford that. So that faction has been disbanded. You know, limiting the crown authority is the least of her concerns and problems right this moment. With that, Évreux is back, and now we're going to just head straight up here and siege down this. That could possibly give us the victory, as our uncle is chasing them down here. France, in the meantime, is also dealing with a bit of a war. Defending against Prince Arnaud of France in the war against the tyranny of Emperor Philippe. Emperor! Ah, we've got a Francia has been declared, so a French empire. So it's no longer the Kingdom of France. French treaties was destroyed. I don't care about that right now. Instead, we are focusing on winning this war, which we will. Now I have confidence here. We've lost Berry. We can see how potentially Queen Sarah can regain that, but at this point, it's all about winning in this dissolution war. And there we got it. We can enforce the demands, so be it. Disband our troops, and with that, believe it or not, somehow Aragon has still been kept intact, despite losing Berry to now, you know, the Empire of France, of Francia. If we look at the geopolitical situation here right now, we look, the Holy Roman Empire is huge, Francia is big, Byzantines are strong, Castile is growing, Hungary is still there. The English are a bit diminished, Scotland is quite powerful, as is Norway, Sweden expanding, Ruthenia is starting to fall apart here with the White Rus. You can see Nubia is continuing to be very, very strong. Nothing really centralized power-wise here in the Near East. And beyond that, if we look into Asia, there are a few stronger ones up here, but looking in Europe, I mean, the HRE, Francia, Byzantine, so on, they are all vying for the future. Now, we also have one holding too many, and we've got a lot of issues here that we desperately need to take care of. We are going to negotiate an alliance with our uncle, and then there are a lot of prisoners to deal with as well. So let's take a look at all of these prisoners right now. For over 2 years, we have a Marie who, wow, he's actually really good. Let's see if we can simply recruit him to court. Jasper, he's okay. Might not be a bad one to recruit to court as well. Countess Muha, there's really not much there for her. We'll just gain a little bit of cash. Count Gilbert of Huesca. Here too we will take the money. Wab, there's not much there either, so we'll take the money. Bernardo, he's also not awesome. We'll also just take the cash grab there. Henri de Monte, not much to do there either. So there too, we will eventually take the money. So now that we've gotten rid of all of those, we can take a look at the people that have been in the dungeons now since the revolt. So we have Simon. He is lowborn. There's not much to him. Now in execution, this is an act of tyranny. So we can't really do that. We can ransom him and just get a little bit of cash. Duke Pierre of Aragon. Now, this is one that's a little trickier. He's got 8, -8. He's one of our vassals. He's a powerful vassal. See what we can do here. We can banish him from the realm completely. And that means his newborn son would take that over. We do banishment. Somebody would hate us. We'll keep that right now. Countess Margrethe. She, on the other hand, was one who really led in the revolt. Here, we cannot execute. You is already considering a proposal. That's right, for somebody else that we had let go. Count Jocelyn of Chartres. The rascal. Him we could execute without much issue, because he's a known criminal. And with our mother in our ear and our uncle in our ear, Sarah decides to make an example of him. Well, after I gave the order to execute Count Jocelyn of Chartres, my guardian Yaish took me down to the gallows, promising that what I would see would be a valuable learning opportunity. Count Jocelyn of Chartres' eyes are a deep red from his tears. As he steps towards the executioner, he attempts to remain silent, but cannot help but gently whimper and choke as he contemplates his impending demise. Regardless of how this spectacle makes me feel, it's all over far too quickly for me to even have the chance to call off the act. Once the deed is done and Count Jocelyn of Chartres' heart beats no more, Yaish leaves me alone with the body to contemplate what I've done. Why did you show me that? So, what this does, you grow closer to forming a rivalry with Yaish. He loses opinion. Jocelyn is killed, gained 21 dread, spent piety. Count Jocelyn is a known criminal, so that has no implications there. Now with Duke Pierre, I think what best we can do here is he will actually be banished. And with that, we have Countess Margrethe back still in prison. Now, we could ransom her, get some more money in the bank, leaving her here with her titles in EU. Primary heir is her son. Executing her, I don't think would be the right one. We could banish her and send her away. I think that is the opportune thing to do that has been told to Queen Sarah on how it has to happen to gain the most control back and really show everyone that she is a queen worthy of the title. Now, the issues we have with young Queen Sarah are that the prestige is just not there. She cannot call any wars because she has no prestige she can really spend. We need to rebuild financially. We need to invest domestically. I think that is the best next bet for her to do. Our first in line to inherit Velay. Fair enough. We can pardon some criminals. Countess Benoit. And see her. Limousin. Yes, she will gain a pardon. We'll start a scheme to get Vicence on our side, who is the spy master. Is there possibly a different spy master who doesn't hate us? There's nobody really there. Odiane, courtier. She is a flamboyant trickster. She is a nun. Ooh. Ooh, yes. Yes. Vicence hates us anyway. We are going to have a flamboyant trickster nun as our spy master. I have to say, I just really, really like that. So we're going to work on our archbishop to get him to like us. And yeah, overall, I think we're heading in the right direction. Baron Asletin, he will get there. He will learn to love his queen eventually. So we can add as an illustrious weapon, King Geoffroy's sword. So I think that would be a nice one to add. And famed weapon, an Angevin mace. I like the idea of having that sword there. The Anjou regalia is new regalia. That might not be bad. Yeah, we're gonna put that into the regalia for sure. There's a lot of nice things here. We have a fine sword that we can destroy. See the artifact details. It's not bad, but having King Geoffroy's sword here, that means a lot more. Increase our crop fields. I'll just help a little bit more with the taxes and so on, and then we can also look at the Bailey. Cannot upgrade this yet. Already constructing in this barony. Alright, so we don't have to worry about that right now. Our cattle pastures. We don't have the cash for that. Blacksmiths. Could do that. I mean, we're already... Yeah, that's why we're already constructing here. So we've done that. That's something to keep an eye on. What else can we increase in our own direct holdings here? Mayenne. I think they could use a little bit extra here as well. We have a bloomeries, and we have bastion and curtain walls. I think we're going to construct some barracks there, and then that is enough money that we have spent for now in improving some of our domestic holdings. All right, we've added the Knight of Purity. We cannot really gain a successor anywhere right now, just because we can't find one. We don't have the prestige to do anything. So anything we can do to increase Queen Sarah's prestige is definitely the direction that will have to go in future for her. Again, her main interest being diplomacy, so external affairs, but she's also gifted in intrigue and learning, not so much in stewardship and martial at this point in time, at the age of 15. Culture has discovered heraldry. So speaking of which, let's take a quick look at the culture. Culture head is Duke Richard of Poitiers. So yeah, there's not much we can do there right now, unfortunately, but that's to be expected in the current climate of the Plantagenet family. Now we've had a change in our neighbor. A new emperor of Francia, Julien, has become that, and has basically usurped his father, Prince Philippe. So that's always interesting to see. And then here we see Duke Richard, our uncle. He's currently dealing with a war, an internal one, other than that, which he has now seemingly won. And his lands continue to prosper. For me, the main takeaway from today's episode is the fact that, you know, at least initially, as dire as things were, and even though we lost Barry, the Kingdom of Aragon under Queen Sarah has remained intact. To make my Archbishop, Jaziradai, more susceptible to my attempts at approaching him, I can include a compliment in my next missive to his court. I will be sure to mention his... let's see, what is he? He is just, calm, deceitful, thinker, and infirm. Keep it short and professional, clear rationality. Our recent correspondence has been a source of joy for me. I cannot help but think that we might both benefit from increased communication. Excellent. We're slowly getting there, being supported by our bishop. So possibly Sarah has withstood some of those very powerful early issues. So Jaredai has passed away, is no longer able to sway him. We have a new archbishop, and he already likes us. So no major issues there. Now let's take a look at other key powerful vassals here. Count Jocelyn of Orléans, Count Thomas of Chartres. Yeah, I think it's time to work our way down through this list. He's still a child, so we can't sway him. He's still a child. Count Valeran. So we will start working on making the vassals like young Queen Sarah. She, in the meantime, is 15 years old. So it's not much longer before she will be married to Prince Kazimierz of Poland, who, of course, has a lot of title claims, including an unsuppressed claim on... unpressed claim on the Holy Roman Empire, and then press claims within Poland itself. You gain the trait Charismatic Negotiator. With the help of Yaish, I have completed my studies of diplomacy. Even if the highest aspects of the subject eludes me, I lived up to everyone's expectations and learned more than most. As I take my first steps into adulthood, I find myself reminiscing about some of the people who have made an impact on the woman I've become. The friendship I shared with Eleonora means a lot to me when we were both young, and to still have her by my side means a lot. Eleonora is, mom. Lost the trait Curious, and now we can go down this path of diplomacy. So she is arrogant, so regality flows from ritual, tradition, and glory. Prestige goes up, diplomacy experience goes up. Can never have too many friends near or far. Family focus, no. Majesty focus is what I believe would be more in her... I guess she's now become the head of the Angevin culture, more in line with way things are lining up with her here. Let me know down in the comments what you think. I may be reading that wrong. That's my interpretation, my gut interpretation right now. We can end our entrenched regency, dismiss with a wave of a hand, offer renown, offer gold, no. Offer some renown, spend 75 to do that. Dismiss with a wave of a hand. That's fine. So the regency has now ended. A potential alliance here. Greetings, my perceptive liege. I have arrived in Angers to pay homage to you, glorious queen, as a show of my loyalty. Rich gifts, absolutely, Duchess Alamanda. I wait patiently on my throne for the arrival of Duchess Alamanda, who is soon announced and ushered before me. She kneels in deference as attendants bring forth her gifts of coin and precious objects. The oath is taken, and scribes record her pledges to serve the Kingdom of Aragon. At last, I bid the Duchess arise, confirming my satisfaction in Alamanda's rights to the lands she rules in my stead. Accept your generous gifts, Alamanda. That's quite nice. Good amount of cash has come in. Can negotiate an alliance with our aunt, Duchess Mathilde, who will not have it. Fool. No, it's simply not how you say it. The venerable scholar who invented the word said it was pronounced the way I'm saying it. My friend Eustache and I are having a raging debate which shows no signs of abating. Having passed a nearby gibbet, he had remarked on it. Being fluent in the Droit Vulgar language, as I am, I gently corrected him on his pronunciation. It begins with a hard sound, not a soft one, obviously. And he had the temerity to disagree, and disagree vociferously, no less. Can't believe you're still holding this vile linguistic position, he blurts out. As I say, that's the end of it. I'm arrogant. So here, the Duchess Mathilde would not accept it for a number of reasons. Now, one thing we can do, which would be quite the possibly bold move. Oh, nickname the Disgraceful, my liege. Have you heard what they call you? My knight Guntram says to me while observing a fly crawling on some gilded decorations. They call you Queen Sarah the Disgraceful. Not what you would call flattering, perhaps, but it's unlikely that you can do anything about it. Better get used to it, Guntram snickers as he walks away. The Disgraceful? What? Preposterous. Well, now one thing I wanted to do, we will do, and that is to create the Duchy of Orléans title. It'll cost 250. We have the money, but it bumps her prestige up. And now it's in the positive, and we can, in fact, then declare wars and do more things again. Now, of course, this means we have too many held duchies. We could grant this duchy title to someone. And we will. Our knight, Esteve Tronqueval, could be one potential that we could grant this to. Jourdan Plantagenet could be another one of interest. Fulk Plantagenet, your cousin, Mathilde's chancellor. We could give it to Mathilde of Auvergne, which we will most definitely not do that. We could also just give it to Duke Richard of Poitiers, but I doubt it. I mean, these are family members that I am not interested in doing that to. So I believe someone who is loyal, who likes us. We have Count Eustache, Countess Blanche of Sancerre, Duke Leon of Aragon, who likes us. Jasper, our acclaimed knight. He's already 56. Don't know about that. Esteve Transvaal. He might not be a bad one. He is unlanded. He's at our court in Carcassonne. So that could be an interesting one. To give it to people, reward people who like us. Yes, I think we will do that. And with that, we will make Amaury, it's one of our knights, our new marshal. And I like that. So let's see, where do we need to increase control? I mean, all across Iberia, for sure. Where are we sitting right now in terms of culture promotion? We could start further down south, start promoting the culture down here. Or just stay close to home. My antiquarian, oh, we have a lot of things that have been destroyed. I'm okay with that. My antiquarian, Cecile, approaches me, holding my fine sword in her hands. Melige, while I was cleaning the armory, I noticed that this here weapon has rusted away to almost nothing. What should we do with it? Worthwhile endeavor to... No, it's too expensive. Just destroy it. I'm fine with that. Looks like we've lost somebody yet again. So now it is time. Find someone to give the Duchy of Orléans to. That would make the most sense. If we look here opinion-wise, Count Eustache of Castellon is our vassal. He's commander and knight. He's Angevin. He does really like us. So I think granting him that title would be good at this point. Let's take a look at new council positions and new chancellor. Then Count Bleve of Avranches. Congratulations, we shall assign you as our new counselor. Or chancellor, better said. And we betrothed can marry, and that will finally be done. Gloria is widely known. Negotiate alliance. My dear niece, I really propose to formalize the ties that already bind us. Let's accept that. So now we've got a marriage. We have a spouse. The young Prince Casimirs, who is chaste, generous, and zealous. So hopefully that doesn't hurt too terribly much. She is 17, he is 16. It's time to find a new physician. Hamlet's constructed in Anjou. We have two options. This world is full of dangers, even to a queen and her court. So we have two. Now we have assembled a few options to choose from. We've got this one here, whose name I cannot pronounce. She's an herbalist and a novice physician. Pertevniela. I completely butchered that name. Milosh, who is an eager reveler, a legendary blade master, and a novice physician in his own right. And then Amrita claimed to be trained by alternative medicine, so she is a mystic. So this one would cost us 115. He would cost us 60. She would cost us 60 as well. Now we're going to go with Pertevnial. We have the money, may as well spend it on the one that's the most recommended. Now, let's take a look at the diplomatic situation we have. It's significantly better than it was just a moment ago, with Duchess Mathilde of Auvergne and Duke Richard of Poitiers, as well as, of course, our husband, Prince Casimirs. So it's looking better than it was. That all being said, what we desperately need is an heir. Because right now the heir is Uncle Richard, and that's just not good enough. So she will go to her chaste husband, the young Casimirs, and try to seduce him. 10% chance becomes a lover. What? A murder? Yeah, probably not. Romance, 0% chance. Those are not good odds to get that taken care of. What else could we do here? We can't request a divorce. We could possibly have him murdered, but that would be a little weird at this point. We'll see how the first few years of marriage go. So the alliance with Auvergne has gone away, which, I thought that would mean that Duke Richard would take over those lands, but no, it is Duke Fulk II of Auvergne. Interesting. Grandparents. Yeah. So there is a Plantagenet in Auvergne, but nothing to do with us. Now, our neighbor, England, is currently at war and winning against Duke Fulk the Terrible of Lancaster in the war against the tyranny of King Alan. We'll take a look here at Duke Fulk the Terrible, who is losing right now. I wonder if we could go to war with him, what that would potentially look like. I mean, it would be incredibly close. Incredibly close. We just don't quite have the military strength to do it. Pregnancy. A child is growing in my womb. My husband, Prince Casimirs, will be proud. Good. Pregnant. Let's see if an heir gets born. And things stabilize a little bit within the Kingdom of Aragon versus the way it was right at the beginning of this of this episode in this crazy series. We do have a couple of things to attend to at court. Queenophile. A new face is wandering around my throne room, occasionally giggling and jumping up and down on the spot when he glances upon some artwork representing Angevin ways. There is something off about this visitor. When he comes forth, it is evident he is carrying a replica of my favorite sword. Cannot help but genuflect before you. I have devoted my life in Aachen to appreciating the culture of Angevin. I only speak in Doigt Vulgar, eat Angevin veal cutlets, and have studied the blade in the Angevin fashion. My family have banned me from our home, claiming if I cannot do anything but obsess over the kingdom of Aragon, I should live there instead. He is okay. This is flattering, if somewhat violating. Sure. We have a new diplomacy lifestyle perk we can unlock, but first, a feline hunter. I think I've found the reason why some days are more rat-free than others. My vassal, Countess Matilda, happily declares as she moves aside to reveal a servant holding a very displeased cat. It wriggles in an attempt to free itself from the scratched-up arms of the servant, meowling in a rather endearing fashion. I'd say this is one successful rat hunter. In fact, it was the middle of a wrestling match with a fat one when we found it. What say you? Should we adopt this cat? I'd love a feline companion. Gain a pet cat. So, what do we call it? We're going to call it Shadow, a great name for our cat. And now we have a new perk. So we can go down Family Hierarchy, August, or Diplomat. Now, the trait August gives us more diplomacy, martial, and prestige. She is honored as a true ruler worthy of the empires of old. Matriarch. This would boost fertility, stress loss goes down, close family opinion, house opinion, a woman who is truly dedicated to her family, or a diplomat. I think diplomacy is probably, well, we went majesty, so August. Honestly, August. Benevolent intent or firm hand. We're going to go with benevolent intent to begin with. So we'll go down August and then diplomat after that. Because we focus on majesty. If we would have gone foreign affairs, I think diplomat would have been the right choice there. Now, she is a charismatic negotiator. But that is kind of moved beyond that. An inspired person can be sponsored. Inspiration project. Jourdain de Villers has the artisan inspiration. He wants to make a throne. Sponsor the inspiration for 72. Yes, absolutely. Someone to impress. Lately, my efforts to impress have fallen flat. My friendship with Prince Casimirs is still standing on shaky ground. It's a mess. However, I've got a brilliant idea. I'll have my knight, Jourdain, add a dedication to this masterpiece he is making, to Casimirs. All right, Count Valera has been swayed. So now we will look further down the list. We'll actually go down with opinion and see who is next down here. Count Hatzvik, Countess Benoit of Limousin. She is a powerful vassal. So we are going to start swaying her as well. Get everyone to love Queen Sarah, as they should. And bloomeries, we can bump those up to bellows. This does is station men and arms damage goes up, holding taxes go up, levy reinforcement rate goes up, and knight effectiveness goes up. So we are going to upgrade that locally. So Master of the Hunt position has been vacated. And newborn daughter is your new player heir. Esclamande. An ancestor, Wilmot, Ilcum, Marthe. Sarah, named after Sarah. Eleanor. Yes, Eleanor. May you grow to be strong and wise, my daughter. And I think that is a good point Good spot to end today's episode, because we have an heir, finally. And hopefully Queen Sarah the Disgraceful and her chaste husband will produce more heirs along the line and strengthen the House Plantagenet, because we were able to avert the complete collapse of the Kingdom of Aragon in today's episode. And yes, it was painful to lose Barry, because obviously that's really how this all started way back when, in I believe it was about episode 2 or so, maybe in the first episode, I'm not quite sure. Lost that went to the Empire of Francia, but Queen Sarah was able to hold on to her throne and independence. And now hopefully we can move forward and build more. Now, the French are going to be very, very difficult to unseat, but maybe Iberia is the best new hope for Aragonese expansion. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and don't forget to hit the like button. As always, I'm Rambler Guy, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.